Hi everybody. Today we're going to do a Flexiband class, and I've got one long band here, and just for ease I'm going to use some of these loops just because it means I don't have to tie knots in the band, and it's really just to create a little bit more efficiency. So if you haven't got loops, it really doesn't matter. If you've got a band, a pair of tights, something like that, you just tie a knot in them when I pick up the loop. So that's what you're going to need for today. So we're going to begin just standing on the mat. I want you to pick up your band, your feet are hip socket width apart, big toes pointing forwards, and just hold the band between your first fingers and thumb. Allow your shoulder blades on an exhale just to melt down your back in a soft V. Inhale into the back and the base of the lungs, and as you exhale you're going to bring your arms all the way up and hold. And just feel that lovely lift through the arms, the shoulders stay very softly down, and bring it back down again. A little different angle, we bring it up and we take it down. I'll just do one more. Be very aware of your rib cage, drawing the ribs in and all the way down. And this time we're going to laterally flex across to the sides. So we hold. Watch the band isn't too tight. Leave your top arm part to your ribs and feel that lovely stretch. And then the underside arm can come up. And then we use the ribs to bring it all the way up and then exchange to the other side. Arms down. Arm up. Use your rib cage. And again, remember it's very much still a warm-up, so just go easy. Feel that the band is tight enough that the resistance of the band is actually an assistant to you. It's actually the resistance that you're working against. And on this next one, we're going to laterally flex across. Be careful you don't overly use your head. Wrists are nice and straight. And I'm going to hip sway a little to one side. That's to my stretching side, and I'm going to lift the band up and pull it down a little. Lift it up, nice straight arms, down a little. Lift it up, down a little. And then bring it back. Use your ribs on the stretching side to bring it back through center, and now the ribs on the new side. Assist with your lateral flexion. A little hip sway towards your stretching side. And then I'm going to bring that arm up and draw it down. Bring it up, nice straight arms, and bring it down. And again, up to bring it down. One more, and down. And then use your ribs to bring it all the way back, 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 and bring your arms all the way back down again. Now slowly from there, we're going to bring the arms up. We're going to hold again. You're going to take them a little apart. And you're going to take them back just so they're level with about your shoulders. Feel that chest opening. Bring it back up again, and a full range all the way back and down to start position. So we come up, we take it out, we take it back. Allow the front of your chest to open. Out, up, and back, and over. And again, bringing it up. Taking it out a little, bringing it back. My focus is onto the front of my chest. My pubic bone is just a little drawn forwards, all the way back up and all the way back down. Just one more of these. Bring it up, out, down. And this time, if you wish, we can continue all the way down, 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 until the palms are facing forwards and the band touches your bottom. Again, taking it out. This time when we bring it up to about level with the shoulders, I'm going to shorten the middle upper back, lift the eyes a little and feel some nice extension of the spine. All the way down. And again, bring it up, pull it out, take it back past the shoulders. Wrists are beautifully straight. And again, back, out, up. When I get to about the shoulders, I'm really thinking about shortening my middle upper back, not my low back, all the way up, around, and all the way back down. So now I'm going to take the band, I'm actually going to double it over, and I'm going to hold it behind me. So you could, if you wanted to, if you've got quite a lot of band, you could just wrap it around once. So that when I'm standing, if I pull it apart, there's not a great deal of band to pull out. So that's me pulling it apart. I'm just a little beyond my hips. And then from there, with lovely soft shoulders, I'm going to lift up a little and pull out a little. And that might be enough for you. Again, I'm trying to focus on keeping my upper arm exactly as it is. But this time I'm going to pull my elbows back. Really feel that stretch through the chest. Then we reach out again and bring it back down. And again, we go out and pull just that little bit out on the band. Start to bend at my elbows, so I'm drawing my elbows back. Feel that stretch through your chest. Reach out to straight, down, and a little loosening off of the band. Again, pulling back a little. Keep those wrists really straight. Try and keep your upper arm as it is. And then pulling out just a touch. Pull those elbows back and up a little. So I can feel my upper arm bone working. Well, not my bone, but the muscles on that upper arm. And then reach and bring it back down. We're just going to do one more. So from here, I pull back a little. I pull out just a touch. Remember, the resistance on my band is really heavy because it's doubled over. I'm going to bend at my elbows, trying to keep them as tucked in as possible. Feel the opening of the chest. Push all the way back out to straight and lower it all the way back down again. Slowly from there, release your band. Shake your arms just out just for a moment. We're going to do a little bit of almost footwork on the reformer. So it's a little bit of work through our feet, through our ankles, and some squatting as well. So we're going to use the band. Feet are going to begin hip socket width apart, and simply from there we're just going to bring the band up, and I'm going to imagine a squat down. Now try and keep your head in alignment with the rest of the spine. We just pull it up, and again. This is 2, and down, 3, and down. Really keep those ankles down. 5, or rather your heels down. We're trying to work into your ankles. I really can't speak and count, but I'm going to guess about 3 more. And really feel yourself pushing into your quad muscles. Last one, and pause. Now from there, a gentle lift off your heels. So holding it here, I want you to really focus on squeezing an imaginary ball. It's slightly more challenging, so we have to go a little slower and bring it up. So we're keeping that lift off the heels throughout and back. Because it's a balance, perhaps you want to focus a little more on a singular point. And down, and up, and down. We'll do 5 more from here. So we've got 5, squeeze that imaginary ball, stay off the heels. 4, keep that head in alignment with the rest of the spine. 3, 2, squeeze that imaginary ball between your knees. 1, all the way up. Allow your heels to come down. Now bring your heels absolutely together. Now remember, if we're doing bar, we move from the thigh bone when we come out, not just the feet. So we come into that external rotation, and now we're going to come off the heels again so that the heels are glued together. So we're off the heels, heels glued together. Find the weight between big toe, little toe. So less little toe, more big toe. And again, gluing those heels together. We come down and bring it up. We come down and bring it up. And we come down. Glue those heels together. Every time that you come up to the upright, squeeze your calves, your knees, your inner thighs. Imagine widening your seat bones and pulling the seat bones together. Widening the seat bones, pull them together. Really keep thinking about your breath and pulling against that band all the time. I'll do 4 more. Push those heels. Now squeeze everything together. Weight between big toe, second toe. We'll do 2 more. And squeeze. And do 1 more. And squeeze. Let the heels come down. Last position is wide and in an external rotation. So really think about being even, left to right, still holding the band, but get wider this time. As we bring it down, squeeze up, down, squeeze up. Again, widen your seat bones. So we widen the seat bones and we pull them together. I'm pulling gently out on my band. I'm trying to get my pubic bone level with about my knees. If that bothers your knees, please don't do it. I'm thinking about my posture throughout, where I've positioned my eyes. Widen and back. Those knees tracking over big toe, second toe. We'll do 4 more and back. 3 more and back. 2 more. How high can you take those arms? 1 and all the way back. Bringing it back onto the mat, shake your legs out and come down onto the front of your mat. I'm keeping my band doubled over, just so it's a little more tight, in case you find roll up a little challenging. So I'm going to hold more towards the ends. Remember, mine is doubled over, sitting on top of my seat bones. I want to create length in my low back as we slowly go into a little modified roll up, laying the bones down. Feel the collarbones open, the tension in the band encouraging my shoulder blades to be long and lengthened. Inhale, lift head, neck and chest up. Almost a little lift of my tail up. As we exhale all the way back onto the seat bones and lift carefully the eyes. And again, think about your little seat bone headlights flicking into full beam. And really flatten out those shoulder blades. Length at the back of the neck as you inhale, lift. Remember that tail subtly lifted. Exhale all the way back onto your seat bones and lift your eyes. Now for a more challenging version, just make sure your band isn't sticking together like mine. You're going to pop the band around the widest part of your feet, lengthen out your legs, and repeat with this slightly looser band and a long lengthened leg. So my focus is on my lumbar spine, creating space in the low back, flicking my seat bone lights into the full beam, coming all the way down. Open those collarbones, glue the legs together, inhale as you bring it up, and exhale all the way back up. Find those seat bones. And again, pull the seat bones up into that full beam position. Are you breathing? Big inhale as you lift your head, neck and chest. We're trying to keep the flow bare, minimum usage of the band if you want to make it more challenging. Just 1 more. Length through the low back. Lovely mobility exercise for the spine. And an inhale as you lift your head, neck and chest. Very, very light on that band, gluing the legs together, big toes away from you, little toes towards you. On this next one, release the band from your left foot and draw length into the low back again, bringing it all the way down and lifting your other leg up and hold. So I'm keeping my elbows firmly anchored to the floor, a flexion in the ankle, and then slowly from there draw the leg across the body. Now in terms of my seat bone headlights, I'm now, as I'm circling this thigh bone around in even-sized circles, I'm now thinking about my seat bone headlights almost being put down into a dipped headlight position. I don't want you to flatten the back out. Think about the breath, filling the back and the base of your lungs. We're doing 1 more. I'm aware of my left leg not just being there redundant, perhaps a little flexion in that left ankle, and we go the other way. Keep thinking about the position of that pelvis. It's absolutely stable. Your rib cage is soft, that T12 kissing the mat. Collarbones are open, shoulder blades are flat. Remember all the openness that you got from the chest expansions with the band. Lovely long neck. And pause, hold it here. I'm going to take the band a little higher without the seat bone headlights moving into full beam. Just going to take a little hamstring stretch so I keep the dipped headlight position of my seat bones. Breathe. And then forwards a little, opposite hand just draws that band across a little, and I'm going to take my eyes towards my outstretched arm on the opposite side. Push a little into your big toe. Really lengthen through your top seat bone. And all the way back. Quietly dragging your other leg in. Place that foot beside. And then reach your right leg out and lengthen this leg. Now I'm thinking about my seat bone headlights down into that dipped headlight position. Once you're there, think about the level sacrum buried into the mat, the bottom ribs down. We come across, around and up. So play around with the tension of your band. Sometimes with a tighter band, you can be a little more accurate. You might feel it's more of a stretch for your hip socket or for all the muscles around your hip socket. Pushing that big toe a little away from you. You can come into a little external rotation if you wish. You can try internal rotation, make it your own. Reverse, go the other way. Very active with your other leg. Breathe. Try and make sure the ribs aren't moving. Try and keep your arms as still as possible. Full range, even sized circles. Just one more. Around and finishing here. So we're now going to go into a little hamstring stretch, taking a little bit more tension into the band. And without my pelvis tipping backwards, just draw that leg a little more into you. You're going to draw your toes down, your heels up. And then whenever you're ready, move the leg a little away from you. Arm comes out to the side, and quietly with a straight arm on the guiding side, you're going to pull that leg across. And you can always roll your eyes to look towards the outstretched arm. Now my top seat bone is pushing away from me throughout. And then slowly all the way back. I'm going to take both feet back into the band again. I'm going to do one more roll up. So long legs for me, a little bit of length at the back of the neck as we inhale. And as you exhale, slowly, 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 all the way back up. Find those seat bones, lift your eyes. Now find a nice flat part of your band. And you're going to wrap it carefully around about the shoulder blade region of your back. Try and make it as flat as possible. If it's wrinkled, it's really not going to give you the same feedback. So, like so. Nice and flat. It's got a little wrinkle, it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to hold the band, sitting nice and tall, come into a bent knee position. Now you can either hold over the top of your knees, or if you would prefer, you can always cross the band over. It's up to you. We'll try maybe both of them. So I've got quite a tension on the band between the first finger and thumb. Draw length into your low back as you did for your roll-ups. Elevate your your heels. Keep those knees even. And you're going to walk your toes back towards your bottom. And there'll be a point that you have to stop. You can't go any further. Allow your breastbone to draw back into the band. So you get some lovely feedback there. Be careful you haven't clamped chin to chest. Don't grip too hard with your hands as you exhale and float your legs to a point that you can control. Now nothing changes in your gaze, your grip, your form, and you're going to inhale as you go back and exhale, bring it back up. And inhale and an exhale. Keep feeling that your breastbone sinks into that band. So you're not allowed to push your chest forwards. You're trying to mimic a rocking chair. If you would prefer, you can always cross the band over and hold it even tighter like so. It's up to you. And back. And again, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Perfect. Take that band out. I'm going to keep it doubled over again. And I'm going to slowly from here allow myself to come all the way back down to the mat. Now, a little bit of our abdominal series. Holding the band between first finger and thumb. When I pull it, I'm not going much wider than hip width. I'm going to bring one leg up to bent knee. All your principles here. Tummy should never push out. Relax your shoulders, sink your sacrum, bring your other leg up, pause, glue those legs together. Imagine a credit card between your bunions and between your knees. Now I'm going to lift my head, neck and chest. You don't have to. Lift the head, neck and chest and really feel that you're almost pushing that band along your shins. And I'm going to begin with just the legs. As we inhale, reach away, keep the tail 1 millimeter lifted. Exhale, back in. Inhale, reach away, keep that tail lifted, shoulders are soft. Exhale. Now from there we're going to add, inhale, and exhale. So I'm adding the arms and I'm not taking my arms any further back than my ears. Keep thinking like rolling like a ball when you are drawing your breastbone back into your band at the base of your shoulder blades. Reaching as you inhale and exhale. Just one more. Reach and all the way back in. Let your head, neck and chest come down. Relax something. And I'm now going to take the band behind my middle skull. Still, I've kept it doubled over. You may not. And I'm going to draw my legs back to the 90-90 position, making sure that I can feel that I am 1 millimeter lifted on my tail. You should feel your stomach is actively working here. Again, you can keep your head down and just do the leg movements if you prefer. But if you can, a little tiny length at the back of the neck, sink those ribs down and pick your head, neck and chest up. So pulling just gently on the band as we reach one leg away, keeping the millimeter lift on your tail. Reach the other. Just get a breathing pattern that works well for you. So this is a version of our single leg stretch. We've just done double leg stretch. Keep thinking about where that band was behind you with rolling like a ball and pull your breastbone down in towards it. Now from there we're going to pause and you're going to use a middle back rotation to rotate towards the bent knee. And we switch. Try not to overly use your shoulders or your eyes. Keep breathing all the time. Keep that millimeter lift of your tail. And cross. And cross, and cross, and cross. Be very mindful of the position of your shins. Try not to let your shins drop down. We'll do one more and pause. Now only if you want a little extra for the abdominals will you reach both legs up, and I'm letting my tail 1 millimeter lift with it. Make sure your hands are not tense. I'm going to lower one leg, keeping that tail slightly lifted. And from the stomach and the thigh bone, we bring it back up. And again, really think about the stability of your upper body and of your pelvis. The legs are working independently of that stable pelvis. Reaching, are you breathing? Could you lift your upper body a little tiny bit more, assisted by that band? And just one more, and all the way up. Bend your knees, release, and take a little moment. Perhaps circle your shoulders a couple of times backwards. And then take your hands and a few flamenco wrists, one way and the other way. And then just slowly from there, a little linking move, similar to a rolling like a ball. You might want to just hold behind your knees as we rock as many times as it takes you to rock and bring it all the way back up. Now this is where you might want to tie a knot in your band to make your band look about so big. That's what you're looking to make with your band. So this is similar to all the work that we would do on our sides. I just don't want to be side lying all the time. So it's really functional to be working in a standing position, because we do spend an awful lot of our time in a standing position. So we're going to put the bands around our legs. I'm going to go a little beneath the knee on my first one, and I'm just going to hold like so. Make sure that if you have doubled your band over, or you're working with a longer band, that you don't end up with band that's dangling down that you might end up standing on and tripping on. So I want you just to begin like so. Hands can come onto your hips. And we're going to think about a little bit of balance here as well. So slowly from there, find balance to one side. I'm going to come into a little squat position, kick out, find balance. Squat, kick out, find that balance. Squat, kick out, find the balance. Squat, kick out. So I'm pulling out on that band. Then I come to the squat. Pull out and back. It's up to you what you do with your hands. You might want to use your hands like so. It's up to you. And again. Squat, kick out. Squat, kick out. Squat, kick out. Squat, kick out. We'll do 2 more. Kick out. 1 more. Kick out and hold it here. Shoulder blades are soft. Now I'm going to pull that band out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly from there, bring it down. And I'm now going to take the band a little lower, so it's now around my ankles, just above my ankles. And from there we're going to repeat. So again, finding balance onto that. For me it's the left side, and hold, holding and breathing. And we're simply from here going to release a little, pull out, release a little, pull out, release, pull out, release, pull out. Really focus on the stability, the balance of that left side. Pull out and pull out. Almost a little internal rotation of your pulling out leg. We'll do 3 and 2 and 1 and hold. Now from there, both feet are going to come down, and I'm simply from there going to bring it in a little, kick it out, in a little, kick it out, in a little, kick it out, in a little, kick it out. I'm going as far as my mat allows. Now I'm going to go the other way. So the definite kick out, the resistance band brings you back. So I pull out, bring it back. Every time I'm making my way along the mat, really working from the outer thigh. And out, and out, and out. And we'll make it back to the center, out, and out. Little steps until we come back to that center point again and pause. So now, let's take the band back up again so that we come to just beneath the knees again. And we're going to do the same little balance work on the right side. So from here, a little kick out, come down to that squat and push out. So we kick out, squat, push out. You can let the leg come in a little. We go out, squat, up and back in. Out, squat, up, back in. Pull it out, squat position, balance, resist in. Pull it out, squat position, balance, resist in. Pull out, squat, up and resist in. Now remember, you're looking for really good ankle mobility here. So we're only going down as far as you can keep your heels down. And again, out, squat, resist, back in. We'll do 3, squat, resist, back in. 2, squat, resist, back in. 1, squat, resist, and back in. Now hold it in that balance as you pull it out and hold. You probably feel your standing leg working. 10 and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bringing that leg down. We're going to bring it back down to around about those ankles. And just hold and find a tension point. So if you're not getting enough tension onto your band, then please make it a little bit tighter. So again, from here, coming onto that balancing side, I want you just to hold, feel that lovely little resistance there, and you're going to pull out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold, 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 and let it come back down. Tiny step in, pull out. Tiny step in, pull out. Tiny step in, pull out. In, and really get that little pull. And pull. Now we're going to make our way along the mat the other way. So we go out, resist. As a kick out, resist tiny bit in. Kick out, really making sure that your big toes stay forwards all the time. Out, resisting. Out, resisting. Out. How far can you kick that leg up and resist it as it gets brought back in? We're going to go back to the center. Out. And kick it out, back in. Kick it out, back in. Kick it out, back in. One more, and back in, and pause. Now I'm going to keep the band around my ankles. Please be careful if you're moving around your mat like this. So I'm going to come all the way down onto the mat, and we're going to place hand over hand. So slowly from there, just bear in mind that we have already worked the outer hip, so just give it a little bit of a moment. You might want to just rock a little from side to side. I want you to really focus on your shoulders being beautifully long and lengthened. Now from there, you're going to bend your knees. So just nice and easy with your knees in a bent knee position. And whenever you're ready from there, I want you to imagine we were doing our quad stretch, whereby we lengthen the thigh bones, and imagine almost lifting the knees and the thigh bones up a little. My pubic bone is weighted. Watch you don't bring your feet too close towards you. And all I want you to do from there in that lifted position is just pull the knees out a little and resist back in. Pull them out a little, resist back in. Can you make sure that there's no tension in your shoulders? Pull them both out, resist back in. Have you one that's perhaps stronger than the other? Both out, resist in. Both out, resist in. Both out, resist in. Two more, resist in. One more, resist in. Now let your legs be long and lengthened again. So we're going to add a little bit to this, adding the long lengthened leg. Now it's up to you with your head. You can either have your head into just hovering off your hands, you can rest onto your hands. You might want to lift yourself into a little bit of an extension, it's up to you. Just watch your elbows aren't too far forwards. But definitely pubic bone is weighted, stomach is in your mind lifted. And we're going to slowly from there bend the knees again as we did. Lift your thigh bones, lift those knees, pubic bone weighted, tummy in, and reach your legs all the way out. Hold and lower back down. So it's a bend, it's an elevation, it's a lengthen and a lower. So we bend at ease. Think about the pubic bone weighted, the tummy is lifted as we lift the knees and the thigh bones and we reach and lower. And again, a bend with ease. Lift, pubic bone is weighted. Thigh bones really long and lengthened as that whole leg lengthens. Watch there's no tension in your shoulders or your neck. Lower back down. Two more. Bend, elevate, lengthen, and lower. We bend, pubic bone weighted. Don't let those hips collapse down. Lift, lengthen, and lower. This time, we're going to lengthen the legs out and hold them here. Almost a little internal rotation of your thigh bones. Almost. Pubic bone weighted, tummy is lifted. And we're going to do little pulls out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Pull, 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 pull. And rest it down. So we're now going to take either the band off the feet, if you need to, untie it. And then we're going to hold the band into our hands. So we're going to keep it fairly loose-ish. You don't need to add the band for this if you don't want to, but again, think about your setup. Your pubic bone is weighted, your belly just very slightly lifted, and we're going to slowly from there let the head, neck and chest lift subtly. Then from there, and I felt my hands drawing a little towards my mat as I lifted the head, neck and chest. Now, I'm going to elevate the hands. That might be enough for you. Pull out a little, back in, and back down again. And we're going to repeat. The head, neck and chest come up. Allow the hands to come with you if necessary. Then, elevate. Watch the chin isn't pushing forwards. Now you're going to lift those arms and bring them all the way round behind you. So it's rather like you're doing your dart position. Then if you can, without the head, neck and chest altering, all the way back down, and let your head, neck and chest come down. And again, slowly from there. If you've got a band around your legs still, keep a little bit of tension into it. Elevate head, neck and chest. Elevate arms. Pull out a little as the arms come all the way back behind you. This is no different to the standing arms that we did at the beginning. Then we lift up. You can pull out a little if you need to. With control, maintain that extension of your upper middle back, bring it up and over, and then the head, neck and chest comes down. We'll do a couple more. Lift the head, neck and chest, lovely long neck. Try and keep that position as we bring the arms up. You might even get feedback from the stomach wall as it naturally engages to support your spine. Keep that pubic bone weighted. Arms up, out, and around. And if you don't need to on this one, keep the head, neck and chest up. All the way up and around and hold. Then bringing it all the way around, around, around. Let the band go. Hands to either side of your mat and a gentle swan. Lift your head, neck and chest. Now I want you to imagine a line that your eyes follow to the skirting board, up the wall, taking the ribs with it, forwards and up, all the way up. And then slowly from there, let your elbows bend, your breastbone, your face come back down to the wall. And again, bringing your head, neck and chest up. Eyes follow an imaginary line towards the skirting board, all the way up the wall. Pubic bone is weighted, stomach is in, and the ribs follow the eyes, forwards and up. Bend at your elbows, feel the ribs, the breastbone, the face, and one more. Head, neck and chest lifts. Really feel the shoulder blades glide down your back. Pubic bone is weighted as those eyes move forwards, lifting all the way back up. Really think about the ribs following the eyes. And then bend as you come all the way back down. Taking your hands to your armpits, you're going to take a little stretch. I always like the stretch where the hands come over to one side, pull your seat bone up and over your heel, and allow that armpit to go down towards the floor. And again, hands to the other side. Stretch it out. So my armpit closest to the mat sinks towards the mat. Really breathe into the back and the base of your lungs. And then slowly from there, you're going to pause, come all the way up. If you've got bands around your feet, you can always take them off. Push your heels down, spike your seat bones right up. I'm going to release one and switch. I'll take these off so you can see better. Push down and switch. And switch. So lovely ankle mobility. Switch, 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 and switch. Push both down, spike both seat bones. Come down onto your knees, and if you can, sit onto your heels. We're going to lift up, tuck under, push down. Lift, flatten the toes, lower. I love all this work for your ankles. So important that your ankles are functioning well to try and prevent knee and hip issues. And then if you can, you're going to stay down onto your flattened feet, and you're going to lift one, lower, lift the other, lower. I'll just give you a different view of this. Lift, lift. You can have your hands on the floor if you prefer. Lift, 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 and lift. So just two more, one more. Back to that little upside down V position. Breathe. Walk your feet to your hands to your feet. Really spike those seat bones. So imagine your pelvis being tipped forwards. And then restacking with an evenness left to right, to your low back, middle back, upper back, and eyes. Lift. Push the hands away. All the way.